everyone and welcome back to my channel. Back in December, I did a video about 18 books I want to read or I wanted to read in 2018. And since we are halfway through the year or a little bit more, I thought that I would give you an update on how it's going with actually reading these books. So I think the way I'm going to do it is I'm first going to show you the 18 books in case you've forgotten, which is perfectly fine if you have. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about how many of those 18 books I've actually read and what I think of the last books that I might not have read. First, we have Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng, In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park, The Leavers by Lisa Ko, Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry, The Sellout by Paul Beatty, Watercover by Jonathan Coe, The Accusation by Bandy, The Birds and Other Short Stories by Daphne du Maurier, The Blue Castle by Ellen Montgomery, To a God Unknown by John Steinbeck, The Passage by Justin Cronin. And then for the 6 books I wanted to reread, I have first The Tidal Zone by Sarah Maas, The House of Spirits by Isabel Allende, 1984 by George Orwell, A Spool of Blue Thread by Ann Tyler. That was Zeus, as per usual. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Zeus, could you please be quiet? You would think I never speak to my cat since he keeps talking whenever I film, but I do speak to him like all the time. And then the last book I wanted to reread, and that is on this list, is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I only just showed you 17 books because the 18th book is a book I don't own anymore, and that is The People in the Trees by Hanya Yanagihara. I decided to unhaul the books some months ago because reading the synopsis I realized that it was not a book for me, and I had heard pretty mixed reviews about it after having bought it. I decided to unhaul it and I didn't read it before I did that, so that's why it's not in my hands today. So out of the 18 books, I had 6 books that I had already read previously and that I wanted to revisit and reread over the year, and then 12 books that were completely new to me back in December that I wanted to read for the first time. Let me start with the 6 books that were rereads. I haven't reread a single of those. I think that when it comes to rereads, I have to be in the mood for them and I have to really want to invest that extra time to reread a book, and I've just not been in the mood for any of those books on my list. So maybe putting them on my list for books I wanted to read this year was a mistake. I should have maybe just put on books that were completely new to me and let that be it. Maybe I will reread a couple of them over the span of the rest of this year, who knows? But I'm not too stressed out about it because it's books that I've already read and I know I love them, and they will stay on my shelves for years and years and be ready for me to grab them and reread them eventually when I'm in the mood for them. Out of the rest of the 18 books, I mean 6 books were rereads that I haven't read, but out of the 12 books that were new to me, I have read 8 of those, which I think is a pretty good number. So that means 4 of those books I haven't read yet, and one of those is obviously The People in the Trees by Hanya Yanagihara. But then the 3 that are left that are completely new books to me that I would like to read during the rest of 2018 are, first of all, The Birds by Daphne du Maurier. I think I'm going to save this for October because this is a scary read and I like to save my scary reads for that time of the year. I also have To a God Unknown by John Steinbeck. I'm not worried that I won't get to this book because John Steinbeck is one of my favorite authors and I'm dying to read this. I actually can't believe that I haven't done it yet, but I think the reason is that I've been saving it. I know it's a book I'm going to love and I don't want to read it too fast or too soon and not have it to look forward to. So I think that's the reason why, but I do want to read it and I will make it a priority to read it in the upcoming half year. And then the last of the books that I haven't read yet is The Sellout by Paul Beatty. This book won the Man Booker Prize back in 2016 and that's the reason I want to read it. It's a pretty short book and I believe it's a satire on society in America. So I'm curious to read it, but it just hasn't happened yet. But I will make it a priority to read it in the upcoming half year. If we combine the 6 rereads and the 3 books I still own but that I haven't read, I am halfway through my goal. I have read 8 of the 18 books and gotten rid of 1, so that makes 9. So I have 9 books left, of which 6 are rereads. Can you follow me? And I only have 3 books left which are completely new to me, these ones. So I think that's pretty good. Since we are halfway through the year, or a little bit more, I think I am on my way to actually reading these books. Even though, as I said, I'm not sure I'm going to reread all of the 6 books I put on the list. Instead, I might actually change them out for some new books that are coming out pretty soon and that I want to read this year. On the top of my head, I can think of Killing Commendatora by Haruki Murakami. That's one that I'm eager to get as soon as it comes out. And the same goes for Becky Chambers' 3rd book in her series. I can't remember the title right now, but I will put a picture of it up here. And it's a book that comes out in July, so that's pretty soon, and it's one that I also want to read as soon as it comes out. So I guess that's it for my update on 18 books I want to read in 2018. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until my next video, happy reading!